As Batman, I'm not one to dwell on my past, but looking back, my teenage years were some of the most formative of my life. While other kids were worrying about school, sports, and parties, I was already preparing for my future as the Dark Knight. Growing up, I was always different from the other kids. I was shy and introverted, more comfortable with books and gadgets than with people. But I was also driven and focused, with a strong sense of justice and a desire to make the world a better place. That drive and focus became even more intense after the murder of my parents. I was just a child when they were killed, but the experience changed me forever. It made me realize that there was a darkness in the world, a darkness that needed to be fought. From that day on, I dedicated myself to becoming the Batman. I knew that I had to be more than just a man. I had to be a symbol of hope and justice in a world that often seemed hopeless and unjust. To prepare for my future role, I studied everything I could about crime, forensics, and detective work. I read books on psychology and criminology, learning how to think like a criminal so I could catch them. I also trained in martial arts and combat, honing my skills in hand-to-hand combat and weapons use. But perhaps most importantly, I learned how to think like a strategist. I knew that I couldn't just rely on my physical skills to defeat my enemies. I had to outsmart them, to stay one step ahead of them at all times. To that end, I also studied engineering and computer science, learning how to design and build my own gadgets and equipment. I created the Batsuit, a suit of armor that would protect me in battle, and the Batmobile, a high-tech vehicle that would allow me to get around Gotham City quickly and discreetly. It wasn't easy being a teenager and trying to juggle all of these different interests and responsibilities. I had to keep my training and studies a secret from my peers, who would have thought I was a freak if they knew what I was up to. But I also had Alfred, my loyal butler and confidant, who supported me every step of the way. Without him, I don't know if I could have become the Batman. Looking back, I realized that my teenage years were just the beginning of my journey as the Dark Knight. I still had a lot to learn and a lot of challenges to face. But those years were also some of the most exciting and rewarding of my life. They were the years when I discovered my purpose, when I found a way to turn my pain and anger into something positive. And they were the years when I began to realize the full potential of what I could become. As the Batman, I may still be a loner, still an outsider, but I'm also a protector, a defender of the innocent, a force for good in a world that sorely needs it. And that's something that makes all the challenges and sacrifices of my teenage years worth it.